What's up, y'all? My name's Bill, and this is how I do it. Today I'm back working on my 2005 Buick Park Avenue, and as you can see, she's dropping it like it's hot, and it's not a good thing. Buicks are some of my favorite cars for a list of reasons. Reliability, ride quality, inexpensive to work on, and just overall a comfortable ride. But today I'm here because of that ride quality. A lot of these Buicks, Cadillacs, Oldsmobiles, and Pontiacs from this era came equipped with an air ride suspension system, meaning that an air compressor connected to two shocks in the rear determines how much or how little air it takes for the car to drive at a certain level. Unfortunately, when these systems fail, and it will, it is a very costly repair, but fortunately there are other options. One of these options I'll be using today. I'll be installing the Monroe Air Shock to Load Assist Shock Conversion Kit. Let's get into it. See, the first thing we got to do is disconnect the air compressor. For one, it's going to eliminate the air out of the shock, and second, I'm not going to use it, so if I don't disconnect it, it'll just remain on. Whenever I crank the car up, it'll try to put air in the shock, so we don't need to do that anymore. So what I got to do is remove this panel. It'll give me access to the compressor itself, which is right here. So I gotta disconnect it. Pardon the camera view, it's kind of hard to capture it on the camera from underneath the car. But after you remove that panel, you'll see two different connectors, one of which is directly connected to the air compressor. Do not remove this connector because there's other components associated with that main connector. This is the cable, this is the connector that you want to disconnect right here that only deals with the air compressor. Now I got that disconnected. What I'm gonna do is wrap it up in some tape and leave it like that. Next, I'm just gonna put this this panel back up. This little screw. All right, now I got that compressor disconnected. All I gotta do now, use the jack to jack this shock up right here. And once you jack the shock up, you come underneath, come in the trunk, and I'm doing the right side, so you'll see it's two bolts, two nuts holding the shock on. It's one on this side and it's one on the other side. And once we're done with that, we can lower the jack down and remove the remaining bolts that's connected to the control arm. All right, now I just gotta remove this air connection from the shock, since I won't be needing that anymore. All right, got that out of the way. Clip. Now there's two bolts under here. Now these came excessively long from the factory. More than likely, they just made a whole bunch of bolts, and these bolts go somewhere else on the car that do require the length of these. So the new shocks come with a whole new package of bolts, so I don't need them. And it also is clips on this shock that we won't be needing either. So right here I'm installing the supplied hardware that came with the new Monroe shock absorbers. Just note the direction of the hardware that I'm putting on the shaft here. It's in the directions and it lets you know exactly how to put this on. That's the best way I can describe it. Now I'm installing the new shocks, and it's no right or wrong way to line this up. You're just gonna have to finesse it a little bit and just wiggle it into the holes. I found it's easier to go ahead and just line up the top holes first and then line up the bottom holes. My camera died right here, so I couldn't get footage of me installing the nuts on the new shocks. But it's pretty straightforward. It's two of them, the 13 millimeter. Just reinstall those nuts right here, and this almost wraps up this job. At this point in the install process, don't tighten those nuts all the way down yet. Don't torque them. Don't torque them until you let the car down off the jacks onto the tires. Then you can torque them. And that just about wraps up this repair. And as for the other side, it's the exact same way, except you won't have to disconnect your air compressor. But everything else is just the same.
Let's hear it.
Say thank you for subscribing.
Thank you, Sky. Okay, let's hear it.